Hey you're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo Podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now. Here's the clip. The last UFC event of the year. Because honestly, there's a handful of people worth talking about. We've got 3 female Canadians on this card, and as a Canadian myself, you know I absolutely love seeing that. But that's not where I want to start, at least not yet. I want to kick things off with something I genuinely believe is one of the best creations in the UFC has ever put together. You're not supposed to fall on the ground. I want to kick things off with something I genuinely believe is one of the best creations the UFC has ever put together. And that is the Dana White Contender Series. DWCS, as the cool kids call it, is a magical, fanatical, mechanical thing in the simplest of ways. Up-and-coming fighters get one shot to prove that they deserve a UFC contract. 2 hungry fighters, 1 dream. Winner potentially gets their whole life changed. The format is perfect. It's simple. It's the way it should be. And honestly, a lot of times it's more exciting than half of the fights on the actual UFC cards. These fighters are out there risking everything. This is it. This is their chance. There's no second attempt. Well, sometimes, but of course they're going to go out there and put on the absolute best performance of their life. They have no choice. And this year, we got some absolute bangers. We had absolute bangers this year. Like legitimately some of the most exciting fights we've ever seen anywhere at any time. And one of them this year that we saw might go down as one of the greatest back and forth wars in not only Dana White Contender Series history, but maybe UFC history. And you know the one that I'm talking about. If you know, you know. It's something I'll never ever forget, my guy. But even with all of that, there was one fight and one fighter who stood out to me above all the rest. Not just because of the performance, but because of the man himself. The character, the story, the presence. And that man is Steven Asplund. Put it in an Asplender. Blender? This guy wasn't on anybody's radar. And at the face-offs, people were literally laughing at this man. Online comments were roasting him. You could hear people in the room giggling. He walked up with layers of loose, flabby skin hanging from his body, clearly showing he used to be a massive fat boy. Not just a little overweight. I'm saying like a big, chunky motherfucker. All right? I got the clunk here. Let's take a look-see. It's a little slow today. Oh, is she going to load? I don't know. She's circling. Oh, there we go. Look at those flappy flabs. Flippity flab, flab, flab. That's Asplund for you. That's Mr. Asplund. And you know what? That is exactly the case because he was a fat fuck back in the day. And I say that with the utmost respect. Here's a photo of him from decades ago when he was a chunky monglunky. I actually don't know if it was decades ago, but it was definitely not current. This was him. Large individual, very large individual. Okay? Excuse me. And I'll admit it. When I first saw that face-off, even I said to myself, there's no way this guy has a chance. I genuinely wondered how he even ended up on the Contender Series to begin with. But still, a part of me knew, look, that you know what? They don't just let anybody on the Dana White Contender Series. You need legit skill. But I still wrote him off. I tossed him aside like a Caesar salad that I didn't want to eat. And I shouldn't have. And it's all because nowadays, in the heavyweight division, we see a lot of guys show up looking fat and sloppy. And it sucks because the UFC is supposed to be the elite of the elite, the best fucking fighters in the goddamn world. So when someone walks out with loose, flabby skin and no real physique, your brain automatically goes to, all right, this is amateur hour. What are we doing here? This just looks like low-level MMA. Two fat fucks duking it out in the backyard or some shit. But as always, the more you doubt, the harder the shock hits you when something extraordinary happens. And I'll tell you what, something extraordinary absolutely happened that night when Steven Asplund debuted into the Dana White Contender Series. He went out there and secured the third fastest knockout in Dana White Contender Series history. He starched Anthony Guarascio, that's not how you say his name, in 16 seconds flat. Like a goddamn beluga on a beluga whale. Why don't we take a look-see here? I may get dinged for showing this, but it's fucking worth it.
Right out of the gate, no time with the quickness. This is exactly how we thought this might go.
Boom! Rock and roll, baby, rock and roll.
Stay here. It's on.
Asplund did it, dude. And boy, was he happy, as he should be. Okay? Right then and there, in that moment, I was all in on this guy. Fully, whoa, my voice cracked. Fully invested. He showed he has real hands, my guy. Real danger. It injected a little bit of life back into the heavyweight division. A division that for the longest time has felt stale and bland. And then, oh man, then we get the post. Then we get the post-fight speech. Laura Sanko steps in, does her usual post-fight interview, and Asplund delivers one of the funniest, most charismatic, cleanest lines we've ever heard in a long-ass motherfucking time. You're going to like this. If you haven't heard this before, you're going to like this.
Dana, I'm a fat boy that likes to scrap anybody and anywhere. I don't give a fuck, bro, please. I'll do anything. I'll suck your toes, Dana. What's up? Dana.
Yeah? He's a funny boy. He's a funny boy. Some people don't like that, but I liked it. I thought it was great. That moment right there told me everything I needed to know. Okay, not only can he crack like a pickup truck, but the man has mic skills. Real mic skills, not forced, not cringe, not pretending to be Connor. He just is naturally funny, naturally charismatic. This is exactly the type of personality fans latch onto. Yes, the sport is about skill first, but don't lie. Don't kid yourself. You know the mic moments matter. They create memories. They create hype, and nowadays, we barely get any of that. Guys try to do it, but it almost always comes off as corny. Even the top-ranked fighters, no charisma, no timing, nothing memorable. But Asplund, different, fresh. entertaining, like a nice wonton soup. And when I saw he was on this weekend's card making his official UFC debut, he was the first fighter that jumped off the page for me immediately before anybody else. If you look at this card, there are actually a bunch of great matchups. But this one I'm pumped for the most. Cock in my balls. I wish these would load faster.
So you spoke about not just carrying the Concrete name into the UFC, but bringing your dad along after watching him and his journey in MMA. How special has this journey been, not just for you, but for your father too, and to have him alongside with you?
It's so difficult to articulate, especially because I'm an idiot, right? I get hit in the head for fun, and I got to share this journey with my dad. We started this 4 years ago, roughly 2.5 weeks ago. I just won a contract in the UFC. I got to hug my father and tell him I did this for us. And like now this is just the start to the new life. You know, this is the start to being able to witness these dreams that I've wanted, and that I'm going to continue to carry on for the Concrete name and the Asplund name.
So you spoke about
Concrete. What's he? You know, he calls himself Concrete. You want to know why? Because he's got fists of concrete. He'll punch you so hard that your face will break into a million pieces. Steven Asplund is unbelievably likable, hilarious, and dangerous with his concrete hands. Now, I have no idea what happens when he eventually and inevitably runs into a grappler. That is the real question, and that's usually the question with the knockout boys. But hey, it's heavyweight, dude. All he needs is one clean KO and the fight's over, my guy. And I cannot wait to see how far Mr. Asplund goes. And you know what? You know what? I'd be happy with him just staying as a gatekeeper. The dude is just worth watching, whatever the outcome is.
Tap here to watch the full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo Podcast.